Okay, I'm gonna open the meeting for the February 4th of the Conservation Commission. We're gonna do a roll call to see who's here. Um, well, Paul, you're here. Ken,
Here.
okay. Paul, you probably should say here.
I'm here.
Okay. And Eleanor, you're here, right?
Yep.
Thought I saw you. And I'm here. So I guess we're all set. All right.
Haley's here as well, Jim.
Who is here?
Haley.
Oh, Haley. Yeah, right. I don't see her. Where is she?
She doesn't have a camera.
Haley, you're here? Does she have problems with her computer, maybe? Hello, Haley? Okay. First time on the agenda is, wait a minute, do I have to? Yeah, the first item on the agenda is approve the minutes for January 7th and January 21st. Do we have any comments on the minutes? Anyone
I
have
can't speak
anything?
to the 21st because I wasn't here.
I'm fine. Jimmy, I made some edits and I'm fine with the 7th. I just wondered how much, detail we need to put when we're drafting a letter in the minutes. I always thought it can be high level. At a certain point, it's almost better to just paste in the letter if we record every single comment that's made. That's all. So it's just something to think about going forward.
What are you talking about? I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
In the minutes, we put a lot of detail into the back and forth, when we were editing a bylaw
okay. Yeah.
review letter. And ultimately, if you're not going with that draft or you're making changes,
Yeah.
I don't know how useful that is. I had suggested just a summary paragraph that we had, reviewed it. We had comments. We wanted to address these issues and kind of keep it more high level. But that's it. It's.
But didn't you think that worked pretty well last time when we edited the letter right then?
No, it's just about the minutes. It did, like, how much detail do we need to have in the minutes?
Oh, I don't believe we have to have that much detail in the minutes. But okay.
That's my only comment, is if we're kind of overdoing it on things like that when we're sort of deliberating on an administrative exercise.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm fine.
Okay. So there's I guess I can make a motion to accept the minutes. I need a second from someone.
A second.
All in favor? Paul?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Eleanor?
Yes.
Haley? Haley's stuck somewhere. And I'm in agreement. Okay. The next item is file DEP 648 395 Vernon Street. Notice of intent, continued public hearing. This is what you guys looked at this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Is the applicant here?
Yes, Paul Finocchio on behalf of the applicant.
Oh, hi, Paul.
Good evening. I apologize for not getting out there Sunday for the site visit. Been under weather for a while.
I didn't make it either. I'm going to go out there again. I'm going to go out there. I missed it, Paul, too. I had something come up and I wasn't able to go. All right, so do you want to present what you're doing here for us?
Well, what the owner is proposing is to tear down the existing structure and construct a new single-family dwelling on the site. If you want, I can share the site plan.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so what we have here, this is the existing outline of the existing house.
Yeah.
There's a foundation out here, and there's a shed beside it. And what we're proposing is to construct a new dwelling along here and a deck off the back. This property has Rivers Protection Act for the Saugus River.
Yeah.
The 100-foot buffer for BVW, which is this line right here. And then we have the outer riparian, which is this line right here.
Right. So the outer riparian is what distance from?
Well, it's going through the house.
Okay, but do you have I'm just wondering, do you have a distance from the outer riparian to the top bank?
Oh, let me see. Hold on 1 second. I can tell you that.
Probably scale it off of there or something. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just getting my drawing out. So from the riverfront line to the house is 195 feet.
Okay. That's to the okay.
That's to the proposed house.
Uh-huh.
That's right in here.
Yep. That's right to there.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So what can you tell us about what's happening with this? There's a house there now. They're taking.
There's a house there now. There's an remains of an existing pool that'll be removed.
That's yeah.
There's remains of a shed which will be removed.
It's going to be removed or relocated.
Removed. It's dilapidated. It's actually not much left of it.
Okay.
So that's all being taken out.
Okay.
And then we will be putting in a drainage system, picking up the roof area. That's basically the star area.
Right.
Note an increase in runoff from the site.
That's taking the whole roof?
This is taking that portion of the roof right here.
Okay.
It's sort of the star area.
Yep.
That's picking up that portion of the roof.
Okay.
What are you doing with the balance of the roof, Paul?
That's just going to be flow off to the back.
What was the question? I missed that.
You're picking up the part of the roof that slopes to the front
Correct. And the
Oh,
back,
of the drain field
and the
in the
back
front
will
of the
pitch off
house.
to the rear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understand.
Now, what are we doing as far as what's the foundation now? Concrete or
It's
rubble?
concrete. Yes, it's concrete foundation.
And you're going to take that off-site?
Everything's going to be taken off site. Correct.
Okay. And do you have much excavate? Is it a walkout?
No, it's not.
It's a full foundation?
The full foundation. Yes.
Okay. And all right. So I imagine you're going to be moving some fill around.
There'll be some material taken. Actually, I shouldn't say that because in the back we'll probably have a walkout because we're almost within, depending on how he wants to do it, within 2 feet of existing grade. So we may
Okay.
do a couple steps out of the basement, or he may not.
Okay. So what are you doing as far as a barrier?
We have erosion control going around the perimeter of the property, which is the wattle and the silt fence running along the
Yeah.
street,
Yeah.
sideline,
Yeah.
across the
And
back.
that squiggly line is
Yes, and then back down.
okay.
Can you hear me yet?
Oh, I hear you, Haley.
Oh, finally. So sorry about that.
Hmm.
I had a question on this. I know last time we talked about there really wouldn't be any trees taken out, maybe one or two. probably in the front. But when we looked at the site, it seemed like there were a number of trees right up next to and against the house and directly behind it that would be coming down.
Okay.
Correct?
I can go out there. I can probably plot the trees on the lot and see how they fall.
Okay.
Also noting that I don't know who plans on living in this house afterwards, but if they wanted to be doing any work further back to clear out, to make a yard back there, that's something that would have to come back in front of the commission.
Correct. I think the only thing we talked about is that big, large dead tree, to remove that. That's sort of, I think it's right behind the pool area.
Yeah.
But of course, anything that would be done back there, because we, again, we are in the floodplain, which is elevation 77,
Yeah.
which is basically this line running across this way.
There was a bunch of junk back there we saw, kind of beyond where you guys are doing work towards the wetland. There's some old fences. There's like a square structure behind the shed. There's like cinder blocks strewn about. There's all kinds of debris kind of scattered about. So I'm not sure if that's going to come out as part of the shed removal and the pool removal, but there's a lot out there.
I can talk to the client and ask him. And he'll do.
Paul, how close is the, I guess, limit of the work on the right side of the house? It looks like it goes to the edge of the 15-foot right of way. How close is that? There's a row of trees between the two homes.
We're not going to be touching that because that's an existing right of way that runs along there. So we're
Okay.
16 feet off the property line.
Off the right of way.
Yes, we're 16
Okay.
feet. The right of way is 15.
Okay.
Hey, Paul, at the front of the house, is that circular area that you've got there, is that the driveway, the entrance?
Yes, it is. Yes, we'll have a circular drive.
Is it an existing paved driveway or what is it? Gravel?
There's a gravel driveway out in front.
Okay.
Jimmy, there's just a rectangular gravel driveway that Paul outlined there.
Correct.
And they had to build that circular connection instead.
Mm.
Paul, is that going to be paved or left as
I'm not
gravel?
sure which way he's going to go, if he's going to go pavement, stone, but the intent is to probably pitch the water in towards the grass area that'll be out in front here.
Yeah. Mm.
It's
Now
just
you've got-
easier having a circular drive on Vernon Street, just because of the traffic.
So you've got you've got the Caltech chambers, the infiltration partially in the driveways.
Yes. Yep, it's H20 loading.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have anything else to say? I think I would like to, if you're going to mark the trees out, would you mind going one more meeting to resolve this?
No, that's fine. I'll go out there, locate the trees, plow it out, and resend the plan.
Okay, and then I'm going to get out there too, so I can
Paul, I'd suggest you have a discussion with your client about cleaning up the rest of the mess back there too.
Yes, I'll give him a call tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Where there's no more questions, I guess we'll continue this until the next meeting.
Right. Thank you.
Are you okay with that, Paul?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Then I guess you're set for tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good
Thanks,
night.
Paul.
Thank you.
Wait, sorry, is Paul, can I ask you one last question? I'm so sorry.
Yep.
I'm looking at your application
Yep.
and it says on page 3, proposed alteration of the riverfront area, 1,200 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just the area on
That's
your.
just that's the area of the building of the footprint of the house.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. The next item, 7:15, what time we got here? Yeah, okay, so, the next item is DEP file 649, Pheasant Wood Drive. Is the applicant here for that?
Yes.
Okay, so, I guess maybe you can just present what your project is?
Yeah, hi, my name's Olaf Wollertson of Wollertson Architecture. I'm representing Dan and Stephanie Kendall. And I
Yeah.
also have Elizabeth Wallace here from
Hayes Engineering.
From
Hayes.
Engineering.
Thank you. And I'm gonna present, I'm just gonna share my screen. So just to start with the locus of where the site is, per the USGS map, this black dot here in Wakefield. We're on Pheasantwood Drive, which is off Old Mount Road. This project was a relatively new house, built 4 or 5 years ago. This project location, per the NOI, is not in the rare wetland habitat. It is in the Golden Hills ACEC area. This is the existing site plan of the house done by Hayes Engineering. So we
I
have.
don't think we're seeing that. There, thank you.
Okay, this is the line of the wetlands flags. This is the
Okay.
wetland area. This is the 20-foot buffer zone of the wetlands. This is the 50-foot buffer zone of the wetlands. The existing house and an existing rear deck and stair, and an existing drive with an existing front porch. This is a retaining wall that was built at the time of the house. So this house is a walk in on the first floor grade here, and walk out at the basement level here. So it's a full 8 feet from top to bottom. So when this project was initially built 4 or 5 years ago, it had an NOI, and this was the result of that project. Our proposal is to, so this is an architectural view of this, just to get a more graphic version of what's going on. So this is
Again, we're not seeing it.
okay. I'll just wait. There must be a little lag.
Yeah, I think it's a lag, but I think we're looking at the same thing now. You're drawing a little red circle around the
Yeah.
back deck and
So this is an existing rear deck that we're going to demolish
There
and
we
build
are.
a new screen porch. And we want to put a 4.5 foot addition under the front of the house with a 5 foot roof overhang on the front of the house in the existing driveway location.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a site section through that, so you can understand the front of the house grade, walking in at first floor, and the rear house grade, walking out at the rear door. Let me know if you can all see that.
Yes.
yes, thank you.
Okay. This is a 3-dimensional view of
Now
the
I
back
do,
of the.
yeah.
This is a 3-dimensional view of the back of the house.
Not yet.
So this deck and stair is what we're going to remove. This is the retaining wall at the driveway, and the new addition would be going in this area in the front. And this is an enlarged plan of how big the existing deck is.
Okay.
Okay. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm still not seeing what are you working off that 3D rendering still?
No, I'm one step ahead. I guess I'll just wait for whatever lag to catch up. Just let me
It
know.
just caught up.
What software are you using to draw the house?
I'm using Revit.
Okay.
I'm presenting on my iPad though. So
Mm-hmm.
are we ready to move on to the proposed?
I think so.
Sure.
Okay. So here's the proposed site plan. With a proposed deck and stair and screen porch.
You'll have to wait for your system to catch up with us again.
Yep. Just let me know.
There.
Okay, and here's the proposed front addition into the front driveway with a proposed front roof overhang and open porch. And here's this is that retaining wall again that you see in the rendering. And you can see that there's a proposed Filtrex erosion control that goes around the construction area of the property.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is everybody clear on that?
Yeah, let's see something.
So all work is only happening within the 50-foot buffer and nothing beyond the 25, correct?
Correct.
Is the erosion control happening? Those are being placed within the 25 feet? Sorry, I'm having trouble seeing. Or outside the 25 foot?
Yes, so that's what the plan shows. Yes. Erosion control is here. And this is the 25-foot line in blue.
Okay, so it's within the 25-foot buffer that you're going to be putting the erosion control. So how far out is the work going to go? I guess all the way to that green line?
Oh, usually that is the limit of work line.
Yeah, they would need to be able to access, to get to the back, they need to access this area here probably.
Yeah.
This is pretty steep down in this area, right? And then it kind of levels off. So I think that at least, at least that much would be a limit of like access for the property.
Right.
So I mean they could probably tighten that barrier up a little bit, but not significantly.
And what about the vegetation that's in that area? Are you going to try to save that, or what are you?
So there is one tree. There's one tree right here that we would relocate.
Okay.
You'll have to describe it because we're not seeing your cursor.
This magenta dot is the tree.
Right on the corner of where the proposed deck would be, Paul.
Thank you. Now I see it. Yeah, it seems to be taking a long time. I've got a serious lag here compared to the rest of you all.
So that one tree would need to be relocated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This area is all of this area. Let me see if I can do this. This is all grassy area in here.
Yeah.
And then so the area that we're working in is all just grassy.
And the area that's marked as paver stones, is that existing?
That is existing.
Okay.
It's not, so just to be clear, this is gravel. This area is gravel. So it's not paver stone. It's just loose gravel.
Okay.
And there are paver stones on the ground laying flat just to hold the gravel in place. So it's really at grade, you know.
The where the screen porch is going, is that what's underneath that? Is that open to the the weather outside? Or?
Yeah, it's open. Let me go to the next view of that. So that's what that
Yeah.
looks like.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. Okay. And I don't see you showing any grading changes. Is that correct?
Really, no grading changes. It's pretty flat. We do want to place a patio underneath that deck.
Yeah.
Just so that it's usable,
Yeah.
you know, and not muddy.
Yeah.
And the obviously the screen porch has a roof, and we're planning on making the deck kind of with a roof between the framing so that it's dry underneath the deck.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and so the dimensions of that. Oh, I guess the dimensions were on that. Sorry, the dimensions of that are that.
Okay. Does anyone have questions?
What's going to be the foundation for the deck? Just sonotube footings type?
Yes. So this was pre-structural, but right now there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 sonotube footings, and then whatever needs to support the stair here.
Yeah.
So this is not a sonotube anymore.
Okay. All right. I don't have any questions. How about someone else?
Libby's got her hand raised.
What's that, Haley?
Libby's hand is raised.
Oh, Libby, do you have anything you want to add?
Good evening. Olaf, are you done with your presentation?
Yes.
I have some photographs that might be helpful. If I could share my screen.
Sure. Do I need to stop sharing mine?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second for this to cooperate. Oops, sorry. Okay. It's all yours, Libby.
All right. I will attempt to share my photos. Okay, hopefully everybody can see the photo.
Yeah.
So this is the front of the house, and you can see that this is the garage and the entry, and the front addition will just come out and be within these disturbed areas, most of which are in the driveway area here. Here's the back side of the house. This is the stairway here and existing deck. As you can see, we're in the lawn area. There's a slightly better one. Here's the existing deck here. This is the stone sitting area here at the edge of the lawn. The wetland is out here at the edge of the lawn. And you can't see my flags, but they're pretty much right along the edge of the fill. This is the view standing right next to the deck. This is the tree that's going to be removed. So as you can see, it's a fairly small decorative tree. And this is the general area of construction in here. It's generally lawn, as Olaf has said. Here we are at the wetland line. This pink flag is one of my flags. This is the deck area in back. These are little pines along the foundation there. So this is at the top of the driveway. The machine to do the excavation for the sonotubes will come off the driveway, make a turn, hopefully not hitting this utility manhole here, and go down the slope. This is all lawn in here. And from this point of view, you can see that there's enough room for the small machine to come in and around to the back side of the house. And the erosion control will be basically along the edge here, just giving the machine enough room to navigate around all the trees in here. And that's it for my photographs.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll help you visualize what's happening in here.
Okay.
Thank you, Libby.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions?
Does the basement currently get any water when we have major storms or anything? Or is it typically pretty dry?
Pretty dry.
That's Dan Kendall, the client.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Figured I could just jump in on that one. It's we've never had any water in the basement.
Okay.
Is
And
this
how many? Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
How many trees or shrubs are going to be removed?
Just the one.
Oh, and
And
we're relocated.
We were probably just relocated. It seems small enough that it could be picked up and relocated.
Okay.
All right.
Is this the same property that wanted to put a pool in
No,
recently last year? Yeah, we did a site walk out to this property. Remember, Jimmy?
Yeah, I remember that. I was out there with Elaine too.
yes, I was on that site walkout in the fall,
Right.
but that was for this project, the rear porch.
Right. I know we were
Didn't-
talking about the stairs and how much, the best way to put the stairs in and stuff like that.
Yeah,
recall.
we never had plans for a pool here though.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
thanks.
If there's no more questions, do you want to close the meeting? Close the hearing?
You want to do a site visit?
I'm sorry, what?
You want to do a site visit?
Well, that was going to be my next question too. Yeah. I don't need to see it, but I would go on a site visit if someone wants to. It looks beautiful down there in the, in the summer. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous down there.
I'd be interested in seeing it.
Okay, so can we set a date? Someone pick a date that works?
I can do Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, I'm all set for Saturday or Sunday.
I'll be working, but from my point of view, I think Libby's photos did a good job and it seems relatively straightforward.
Yep, okay.
Fine by me.
I agree.
Okay.
I can't do the weekend, but I could do a drive-by though.
Okay, so it looks like we're just gonna meander over there if you want to see it. Like I said, I've seen it. I don't have any issues with it. Eleanor, if you want to, can you go down on your own, take a look at it?
I guess I could on like a Saturday morning. Does that work for the homeowner?
Yeah, that works for me. Saturday
Okay.
or Sunday.
Saturday morning would also work for me, so.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't you figure that?
Do we want to say something like, is 10:30 reasonable?
Yeah, 10:30 works for us.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, perfect. So we'll see you Saturday at 10:30.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to be into other business. Letter to bylaw review. That's the letter I did, or I did part of it. Did you guys? I sent a copy of what I was writing to everyone. I don't know if he's got it.
So excuse me, are we all set?
Oh yeah, we're all set. I'm sorry, we're all set. Yep.
And we'll continue to the next hearing?
Yes.
Is that the plan?
Yeah.
So that'll be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Thanks,
evening.
everyone.
Nice evening.
Good night.
Did anyone see that email I sent?
Yes.
Okay. Can we talk about that and see what you want to change, or has anyone looked at it?
I saw it. What was your goal, I guess, in changing it? Did you want to just shorten it overall?
Well, if you read it, it's a little bit different approach than what we've taken before.
Mm-hmm.
I just like it like that, obviously, because that's the way I wrote it. Paul, did you get it?
I did.
Okay. Did you have any comments on it?
There were a couple places where you just missed words, Jim.
Okay, so let's.
I thought overall it worked as a conveyance.
Yeah.
And a comment to the town about what this bylaw should or shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Do you want me to throw it up on my screen to edit, or?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Okay. Okay. And then I guess I just wanted to throw something else at you. I had a conversation with Dan Lieber about process, and he thought it would be most efficient in our approach if we try and do one warrant where you're repealing the stream setback and replacing it with the bylaw.
Okay, so what are we saying here then? I guess I'm not following. What do you want to do?
So I just want you to keep that in mind as you read this. The rationale was that to do two different, technically you could do one warrant article to repeal the stream setback, and then a second warrant article to have a new wetlands bylaw.
Yeah.
But that would be a lot of work, right? Because the attorney and Mullen have to craft two different warrant articles.
Mm-hmm.
So he said for efficiency, and then you have the risk that one gets passed, but the other doesn't. So for efficiency, he recommended talking to Mullen about putting the two together.
Okay.
So that's all I'm saying. So just keep that in mind as we read through your letter. I think our intent is to replace, but that's all.
Yeah.
So let me just open. And sorry, I have to close everything else if you want to keep talking.
Okay, Ken, do you want to add anything?
No. No, I don't think so. I think we could just.
My comment would be in the end of the, I guess it's first paragraph. You quote from the existing bylaw. Setback from open stream. In no case shall any building or structure be permitted within 50 feet of the embankment of any open, and then it ends. You didn't finish quoting whatever you were quoting.
Okay.
But I agree with Eleanor. It would make sense to try to do this as one act. And I think perhaps you might want to revise this to suggest that since we're bringing forward a wetland bylaw, that we'd like to see it as one warrant article that repeals this and implements a wetland bylaw.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, I always have too many windows open. Give me a second. Okay.
Okay, so
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
You see what Paul's saying. I left out what the hell did I do?
Sorry. Okay. Editing.
Can we mark that up somehow and just whatever you want?
Sure. I'll do track changes. Okay. Paul, do you want to read? How do you want to do this?
Who's going to read it?
I'll be our narrator.
Okay.
Someone stop me when you need to. Dear, what?
Go ahead, Haley.
All right. Dear Mr. Lieber, the Wakefield Conservation Commission would like to make you aware that they are in the process of developing a wetland bylaw with associated performance standards and regulations. It is anticipated that a draft will be completed in February for your review, with the expectation of presenting it at the spring 2025 town meeting. I'm going to put a pin right there and say a draft will be completed in February. Do we still think that's true, given that we're in February already?
Well, it was January, and January went past, so I put down February.
Well, I think we have you guys worked it over fairly heavily last meeting when I wasn't here. I think essentially we've got to come to ground on a few items, but seems to me we ought to be able to do that.
Mhm.
I agree. What we have is pretty standard language. When we looked across the MACC example and, for example, Concord, so I'm not sure we're breaking new ground, and any little differences are more about distances and small things. So,
Okay.
but we can come back to it at the end, I think.
Okay. Should I continue?
Continue.
All right. We would also like to take this opportunity to advocate for the repeal of the Town of Wakefield zoning bylaw 190-31H concerning stream setbacks. Setback from open stream. In no case shall any building or structure be permitted within 50 feet of the embankment of any open, and that's where the sentence
Yeah.
just ends.
Yeah.
It should be in open stream, I believe.
Okay.
Just need to check that reference. Could I suggest that we include in the first clause of this sentence, or this first sentence of this paragraph, what Eleanor's suggesting, that we say to advocate for action at the same time to repeal the zoning bylaw?
You want to say that as a separate, I mean, this is just a letter for them to let them know what's going on. I mean, someone
Right.
has to write up these warrants, and
Yeah.
That's where I think it's critical.
And can we stream back? Okay. I mean, I guess you're saying it. We could say it at the end. Let's continue, Haley.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. The Wetlands Protection Act offers a substantial amount of protection to the bank resource without the 50-foot setback. This is only true if the existing bylaw is deleted. The Conservation Commission has always assessed how the proposed scope of work meets the intent of the 8 interests of the Act. The result of this evaluation may or may not require a no disturb zone. That decision would be made by the commissioners. The allowable limit of construction in relation to the resource area is based on the ability of the alterations to not inhibit the protection of the 8 interests of the Act. There should be a period there. This is accomplished through the understanding and application of the performance standards for the resource areas. It is not accomplished through the establishment of an arbitrary limit of work line with no scientific or any type of environmental support for that decision. Removing this duplicative standard from the bylaw lessens the burden on the applicant, the building department, and the ZBA. Authority for determining setback standards should reside with the Conservation Commission as the subject matter experts.
I like it.
I think I noticed somewhere in there that bylaw had a space in between it in one spot and not in others.
It should be one word.
Oh, here it is. Zoning bylaw. Okay.
I think I saw another that just had a space as well.
Also, the 3 lines down from there, it says this. It has by law.
Yes, that's the one I'm looking. This is only true of the existing by law.
Oh,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna just accept that.
that's my typing skills are showing up.
I'm wondering if we want to advocate for, like, rather than focusing on repealing the stream setback, to just say a sentence that we think having a wetlands bylaw would be more effective.
So, okay, so where would you put that?
I mean,
Your concluding paragraph could be modified to say that.
yeah, I mean, quite honestly, you could also just stop here, you know, first 3 paragraphs and say, the introduction of, you know, a bylaw would better accomplish, you know, some of these climate-oriented goals, but in a more rigorous and scientific way.
Okay.
The adoption of a wetlands bylaw would accomplish the objectives of the existing bylaw, as well as affording the additional protections.
Sorry, would accomplish say that again, that was good, Paul?
Objectives of the existing bylaw. And
Ensure more protections, is that what you said?
ensure more comprehensive protection under the standards in the state statute as well as local policy.
I'm just going to add one more. It would also enforcement for the standard would continue would reside with the Conservation Commission as opposed to a duplicate enforcement agent. You know, I'm just throwing this out there.
You could just stop after Conservation Commission, Eleanor.
Okay.
You need enforcement, though. You've just got enforce.
Oops.
You take out the next paragraph and just leave that last paragraph that Jimmy had written or edited.
Yeah.
So, it's adoption.
We can just, it's still Jimmy redline version, but at least you can kind of read it more clearly.
Works for me.
Should be 50.
If we're using the term Conservation Commission, you may, in that one sentence, the second to next sentence, Eleanor, capitalize those C and C.
Oh.
Right there, where your cursor is now.
We just defined commission. Should we may
You
not
could
need.
just say commission, yeah.
Yeah. I think I can still have track changes on.
It's the last line of that same paragraph.
Would reside with the
Commission. And then the last line of the next. You probably want to put another space before the Wetlands Protection Act.
Let's
Line
see.
spacing, just to
Oh,
clean
yes,
up
yes.
your paragraph forms.
Yeah, do we do indents anymore? I don't know.
I never do, but I
Yeah.
don't know what the town's, if the town has a policy, a form policy. Either way,
Okay.
let's just do it consistently.
This
Doesn't
time.
matter.
Okay.
I thought we took out that allowable limit of construction paragraph completely.
Oh, I had moved it. Oh, that's funny. I had moved it down. Let me,
I think you want to just take it away.
yeah. Just want to make sure it's still there in case, sorry. Uh-oh. Okay, I think it's all still there. Yep, okay. Now I'm gonna hide. Okay. Do you want to read it again, Haley?
Sure. All right, from the top. The Wakefield Conservation Commission would like to make you aware that they are in the process of developing a wetland bylaw with associated performance standards and regulations. It is anticipated that a draft will be completed in February for your review, with the expectation of presenting it at the spring 2025 town meeting. We would also like to take this opportunity to advocate for the repeal of the Town of Wakefield zoning bylaw 190-31H concerning stream setbacks. Setback from open stream. In no case shall any building or structure be permitted within 50 feet of the embankment of any open stream. The Wetlands Protection Act offers a substantial amount of protection to the bank resource without the 50-foot setback. This is only true if the existing bylaw is deleted. The Commission has always assessed how the proposed scope of work meets the intent of the 8 interests of the Act. The results of this evaluation may or may not require a no-disturb zone. That decision will be made by the Commissioners. The adoption of a wetland bylaw would accomplish the objectives of the existing bylaw and ensure more comprehensive protections under state standards as well as local policy. Enforcement for the standard would reside with the Commission. Removing this duplicative standard from the bylaw lessens the burden on the applicant, the building department, and the ZBA. Authority for determining setback standards should reside with the Commission as the subject matter experts.
I think it sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need to say as the subject matter experts or just
Say
should
what?
reside? I'm fine either way.
I'd leave it.
Okay.
All right. That's done.
Okay. And then
Okay.
we need a sincerely.
Yeah, there was one. Jimmy had one.
Oh, he did? What happened to it?
I don't know. Vanished.
Okay.
Ozone.
All right. It's gone. How do you want to be, Jim Luciani, or do you want Jimmy?
It's yeah, it's Jimmy Luciani. I don't care what it is. Chair conservation. Okay.
Or it should
What do
be
you-
Wakefield
what-
Conservation. Okay. Judy, is there a certain format or is this?
I think that's fine. They like to have, Corbell with, font 10.
Font 10?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, you're so faint. Let's just double check. So make it smaller?
What, Corbell is the,
Oh, I don't know if I have that. How do you, is it with a C or a Q?
Corbel.
Oh, Corbell. Okay, sorry. Um, ugh. Oh. There we go. Okay.
So you should probably put it at 11. It does look small.
We need a date, right? I think that looks good. I think it's good. So I just hit save, Jimmy, and circulate it to the group?
Yeah, I guess. We got to
Yes,
get it
save.
put on the right letterhead too.
Yeah, and I'm going to save this one as track changes. This is really stream set. I'm just going to. Sorry. I'm going to do a. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I just wanted a clean version. And okay, that looks clean. Can Ethan put it on letterhead for you to sign? What usually happens?
I don't know.
I do have the letterhead. I could do that tomorrow.
Okay.
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 I'll just have to get your signature somehow.
Okay. That's
Okay.
good. So should we take a vote on this?
Yeah, makes sense.
Someone want to make a motion?
I'll move we forward this letter to the bylaw review committee.
A second.
All in favor? Paul,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Haley,
Yes.
Eleanor,
Yes.
and I'm okay with it too. Okay. Done. We're gonna move on now, okay?
Sounds
So,
good.
is there, you all set to move on or what?
Should we talk about timing quickly
Okay.
for February?
Well, I think we should talk about the bylaw and see if we can wrap it up.
Okay.
Isn't that the challenge for February?
It is. The bylaw committee has a meeting on, I think it's the 24th. And we can go and ask questions, but yeah, ideally we would want to get it to them and
In
to Mullen
advance of that meeting.
and to Tom Mullen. Yes. So I think we
Why don't we
can
bring
try and
up
do it
that on
today.
the screen now?
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing. screen sharing stopped. Give me a second. Did you guys look at the A and B versions? Do we want to start with the B version?
Are we gonna put these up on the screen here?
Sure.
I would say put the one that you worked through the most last time up. I didn't
Okay.
realize there was A versus B.
Yeah, I tried to explain it. I might have to, since I did it over a week ago. Hang on, and I'm going to turn off my camera because you guys are breaking up. So give me 1 second. Not sure. I don't know where I kind of lost you guys. Give me a second.
We still see you.
Yeah, I don't see you. I'm trying to pull up the, let's see. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Oops, share. So I think the version B was a little bit more worked, but can you see my screen?
Yep, I see it.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the draft A. This was sort of the original, this was the original ordering. And then I left things red that we need to just fine tune. I put in, paragraph, whatever, A, B, C, D. And then, any suggestions from reading the two, templates, I'll call it, I called out. I think the only thing different here was I moved this waiver and setback into the main section where these other things were. So this is kind of where we left off. So I wound up moving these sections up to, up in here, like with this group resource area buffer zone. So let me show that to you just as an alternative, and you can see which you prefer. So I'm going to stop sharing this one. Screens, stop sharing.
Oops.
Okay, and then this is the B version. Oops. Did I share the right one? Does it say B at the top?
I can't see anything yet. There you are.
Okay, hang on.
I see a document. I don't know where I would be looking
There's
for
B,
B though.
though, on
Okay,
your
it does
title
say B at
element.
the title. Perfect. Okay. So it's the same thing.
Okay, we need to read through it a little bit.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to show the big thing. I changed the sections and then we can
Okay.
read through. So you saw before, there were some, so I moved this up. We can go section by section, but so this was the stuff that was at the end. I moved up to be consistent with the other bylaws, but we can start from the beginning.
In the interest of time, could I suggest we not read everything if we're not
Yeah.
making any changes
Sure.
and address basically areas where we have changes or whether any of us
Well, wait a
suggest
minute.
little changes?
I think I want to read the, there's a lot in this. I'd like to, I mean, I'm okay with with the draft, where section 1, but I won't, can I read through some of these other ones, just to refresh my mind?
Sure.
Section 2.
Section 2 is definitions.
Okay, so alteration.
I think, Eleanor, after the number 1, the clause you have there, resource areas protected by this bylaw, that should be a colon rather than a period.
Oh, correct. Gonna just accept that because it's grammar.
Yeah, I'm just,
No, that's
I've
good.
read it, and I think what you guys did last time works pretty well for me. I'm just looking at it now for form and making sure that I'm still comfortable.
Can I move down to 2?
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
I'm almost
Yeah.
there. Let me just.
Okay.
Okay, so, what is this paragraph doing? This is just the definition of alter.
Yeah, so these are definitions. Section 2 is all definitions, and these are pretty standard.
Okay, but, so if someone wanted to cut their tree down, that would be an alteration?
If it's in a wetland.
Yes.
And
Well,
it
it
says
could be in a buffer
H,
zone.
Jimmy, is H, destruction of plant life, including cutting of trees
Right.
in a
This
resource
is,
area protected by the bylaw.
Yeah,
This
but,
is not the town tree bylaw.
no, I understand that, but, we all the time talk about trees in the buffer zone that get altered. That's the buffer zone. It's not even a resource area. Does that capture too much?
this is standard across the MACC template
Yeah.
and Concord.
Eleanor, just reading the first clause, though. The following activities when undertaken to, upon, within, of, or do you mean or affecting? The
Oh.
second line there.
I didn't get that either. I didn't understand what was
I
being
think that
said
should
there.
be or affecting resource areas.
Okay. When
Undertaken to, upon, within, or affecting resource, not of affecting.
When within
Yes.
affecting, that doesn't seem.
Or affecting.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds a little strange. Just somebody like this is pretty boilerplate.
You
I
take
don't
this
know.
from someone else's language?
Yeah. I think I didn't change this much. This was in the original draft. I don't think I edited it. Upon, within.
Yeah, Jimmy, you do raise an interesting question because do we actually control areas within the buffer zone? If we do, then we need to include that here rather than just simply resource areas.
so we can come back to that.
You want to add the word area, probably should be areas there, plural, in that line.
Can somebody pull up the MACC or the Concord bylaw template just to have it handy to cross-check?
I am at a remote site with miserable internet connection, sorry.
Yeah. Is that
Ethan,
Ethan? Is
can
that
you get
something
that
you can
up?
do that?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'd sent links before. So,
The example says or,
okay.
within or.
When undertaken to, upon, within, or,
Or
okay.
affecting
Okay.
resource areas, plural.
Give me a second. Areas protected by this bylaw. Okay.
I think Jimmy's question about buffer is an important one to consider. And whether affecting resource areas is enough. Or if we need further language that says undertaken. I don't understand
I
two.
thought
Activities
we
undertaken to resource areas?
didn't we define the resource areas to include the buffer in this
Ken,
bylaw?
you're almost inaudible.
Didn't we define the resource area for this document to include the buffer?
I thought
I
we
don't know.
did. The problem is it's later on in the, like the way this flows.
Well,
We can see.
definition should be, may want to be alphabetical, but the definition should be here in the definitions then.
Okay. So why don't I leave a note and we can come back to it if it's not addressed?
Okay.
Because we do say the resource area is protected by this bylaw.
Yeah, what you have here is exactly what the model bylaw says from the MACC. That first sentence.
Thank
All right.
you. Thanks so much, Ethan.
Can you scroll up? Where's the jurisdiction section? Okay, so
Ooh.
we ended up moving the okay.
I think that was the order to begin with, but do we, Ethan, how does the MACC template, is the jurisdiction before definitions or after?
Theirs is after, but all of their sections are differently ordered.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think actually the way you've got it structured so far looks sensible.
Okay.
Sorry,
So,
my point was that the resource area is described in the jurisdiction section. So unfortunately, that's a little bit further down the line. But that was my point. It is described in the jurisdiction area.
do we want to say something? Resource areas as
Well, let's go
described?
down and
I
see
don't
where
think
we've
so.
got it and
Okay.
see if we want to move it up.
I don't think
Okay.
so. As long as we call out the jurisdiction.
Okay.
Isolated wetland, that's the one we've got to deal with now.
Yes. So this is what we had, and then this was the alternate definition supplied by Ethan.
Where did you get that one, Ethan?
I think it was a combination of a couple definitions that we just discussed at one meeting.
And I think Ken edited it. So I think, is it isolated wetland, or do we prefer isolated vegetated wetland? I think at the meeting we all liked Ethan, or like this red definition.
Just a couple suggestions to it.
Yeah,
Isolated vegetated wetland. If you could bring it back, please.
Yes.
I don't have it
Sorry,
on my
I just
screen.
want to make sure I don't overwrite an old draft. I can get it back. Go on.
It's fine. Is a freshwater wetland that is not protected under 310 CMR 10.55 due to being disconnected from a water body. What may be protected? Do you want to say it may be protected? Put a period after water body and say it may be protected? And are we saying it may be or shall be? I mean, if it may be, well, is that's fairly vague and doesn't seem to define a particular authority. But you need something there to make the transition after you're defining it. Then you got to say what's happening with it.
Okay. You're saying it shall be protected?
I don't know. Is that what we want to say? Or is it a matter that the commission may extend protection to such a body of water?
Could I chime in on this? This is Jennifer.
Sure.
One thing I noticed in searching this draft bylaw, although I don't know if I have this exact version, but the most recent version I have is isolated wetland actually doesn't appear anywhere else. So it's being defined, but then it's not actually, as far as I'm aware, referred to anywhere else in the document. And it's also not an isolated wetland or isolated vegetated wetland. Also isn't referred to on the MAC template or in the Concord. So I'm just wondering what function it serves to define it if it's not going to be referred to as such. But the jurisdiction does say that wetlands or resource areas are jurisdictional, whether they're isolated or not.
Is there a minimum? Do we want to have a minimum square footage for we have 1,000 square feet, and then we sort of seem to contradict it in the last sentence of this.
Well, yeah, the above we said 5,000 square feet, and then we changed it to, or 5,000 cubic feet, then we changed it to 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, but what I'm reading is, given that they are at least 1,000 square feet in area, and meet all other criteria of the law, with the exception of connected to water bodies or connected water body connections to water bodies. Okay, then what are we saying in the next sentence? Of isolated areas of wetland, is that less than 1,000 square feet? Or
it should be
what are we
square,
saying there?
or
What is
more.
that sentence? What is that last sentence doing? Seems like it's repeating what you've already said. What was the intention?
Yeah, can maybe I think we could get rid of that.
What are we doing with vernal pools?
Maybe what we want to say, shall be jurisdictional, instead of maybe protected, shall be jurisdictional under the bylaw, given they are at least 1,000 square feet in area.
Where do we come up with 1,000 square feet? I think I asked that before. I don't remember what the answer was. Does anyone recall that?
I think Ethan found it. Do you remember what town had that?
I had said 5,000 at first. I think 1,000 was just what we had brainstormed and met on. I don't think there was anything we were referencing, just a number we thought would fit Wakefield.
Is that something you could look at and see, look at other bylaws and see what they have? Or Jennifer, well, I'm also wondering Jennifer's question. I may not have registered it since I was typing. Jennifer, are you saying, why are we even defining?
It's not listed it's not mentioned anywhere else. It mentions wetlands, including if they're isolated, but at no point does it call out specifically isolated wetlands. Right, Jennifer? That's the point, right?
Right.
So
if we're not going to regulate it or protect it, I don't see a reason to have it.
Well, we are going to protect it.
Well, then we want to define it.
So I think the point is that it's not. We're making the point that it's not protected otherwise. It's not protected under the Wetlands Protection Act. And it is protected here. Even though
we're just saying, as long as it meets the all other criteria of 310 CMR 1055, except, it's not connected to another water body.
I think it's good to keep that an isolated vegetative wetlands is not protected due to blah, blah, blah. I agree with Jennifer, it really shouldn't be defined, but I do think we should keep this mention in there. It's an important point.
Okay. To be from water body. Okay, should we say something like such a wetland may be protected under the bylaw, given that it is, or they are, or maybe this is such wetlands.
It is.
Given
that it
is. At least 1,000 square feet in area and meet all other criteria of 3 and meets what? 310 CMR with the exception of connection to water bodies. Do we need this last sentence?
And what's the last sentence about then?
I'm not sure we need it. Do we need it, Ken?
It seems like you've already said it once.
Yeah, it seems repetitive.
Okay. All right. So I think we can get rid of this number. Are we okay to get rid of this number 4?
That part of it, yes.
Okay. Just gonna.
But doesn't that give you more information about what an isolated wetland has to be?
Well, it
talks about 5,000 cubic feet of water and.
Well,
we're saying 1,000 square feet of area now, Jimmy, instead.
Yeah, right. But they're saying area, and that like the other definition for, it tells you that it has to be 6 inches or in depth minimum, plus a certain, it's giving you a volume. This here is, I mean, what could that be? That
Make it
like
1,000
a
cubic
pocket
feet?
wetland, like a pocket wetland, maybe?
Should we change it to 1,000 cubic feet?
I don't know that I think you did get that out of someone else's
Mm-hmm.
bylaw, Eleanor. I thought you found that actually.
Yeah, I feel like Jennifer had it flagged in her. Yeah, Jennifer, do you remember where that?
I don't know where the 1,000 came from.
Well, I mean, the way you got it with the one sentence, it's pretty clear cut. I mean, it's isolated wetlands, a freshwater wetland that's not protected under
Yeah.
due to being isolated or disconnected from a water body. I mean, that's
Okay. Okay, we're okay to delete that last sentence.
I do think that there should be some kind of tying into some description of how you're tying it. I don't know, maybe not.
Okay.
All the other criteria. What are the other criteria it's meeting?
We would need somebody to pull up 310 CMR 1055. Ethan, can you by any chance pull that up?
It would seem like it's likely hydric soils and vegetation.
Yeah.
Right? And water submerged under certain periods of time.
Yeah. I guess then is it a vernal pool? Can we move on?
Yes.
So I think we've known about this, but at least we've picked one and then we can fine tune the size. That's still open. Person, I didn't change anything here. Okay, vernal pool. This was the other. So the last meeting, we had pulled in language from the Malden bylaw, which was identical to the MACC template. This text in black is what we had before. So it's just a matter of reading the two and seeing which we like better.
I thought we decided the MACC and the Malden were
Was better?
appropriate.
Okay.
I'm looking at the lower one, which says it's not occurring in existing lawns, garden, landscape areas. I think you probably want something like that because otherwise my backyard pond would qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't really want to have that regulated here.
Yeah, right. I agree with that.
Okay. So we'll go with this one. And make this full.
Actually, Ken, that stuff that you forwarded about vernal pools, very good.
Yeah.
A lot of information there.
Yes. So I think that's good. Okay, B, except as otherwise provided in this bylaw or regulation, the definitions of the terms and the procedures in this bylaw shall be as set forth in the Wetlands Protection Act.
So that's where resource area comes in and various other definitions, I presume.
Yes. I'm just going to highlight this. Okay.
I agree with the comment up on the jurisdiction question that you need to make sure the jurisdiction extends 100 feet from, rather than 25 feet. You want to probably say 100 feet. Lands within 100 feet of any of said resource areas or 100 feet from a vernal pool. Don't we?
I think it makes it more clear that's, you know, that it continues to be
That's
a
what we're doing
jurisdiction.
now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not being any more stringent with this than we currently are by stating it as lands within 100 feet of the aforesaid resource areas or 100 feet from a vernal pool.
Do we want to write 100?
And you need to put in 100 before the parens for vernal pool, Eleanor, as well.
Okay. Oops. I'm going to get rid of this comment.
Yep.
Or okay. And then this repeats it again. Said resource areas shall be protected whether or not they border surface water.
No reason not to say that.
Okay. I think that was sort of the key distinction in the vernal pool stuff that Ken circulated. Okay. So section 4, we called it conditional exceptions. I noticed the MACC template and Concord used exemptions and exceptions. So this is pretty standard.
I think the use of that title is probably better, exemptions and exceptions. What do other folks think?
It's consistent.
It's actually, it seems like a good way to say it.
Yeah, I think that works.
Right. All right. So emergency projects, maintenance, section 5. Do we, I'm just curious, I just noticed this now, filed by delivery in hand. Are things always delivered in hand?
Yeah, to me, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say leave that there, yeah.
Okay. Okay. this is such a nit, but what if the Wakefield daily item changed
Or
names?
successor publication,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
or
I
any
don't know if
successor
there's,
publication, just,
can we say something, I don't know, more generic is like, that
well, I
defers
would
to
just,
the
after
town?
Wakefield Daily Item, Eleanor, put a comma and say, or any successor publication.
Okay,
Because if the item goes out of business, the town will have to find another publication in which to publish its notices for everything, right?
right,
You could say the
So,
paper of record.
that's perfect.
okay,
Or the paper of record?
or any newspaper of record.
Is that what
It's
Judy was saying?
it's a newspaper of general circulation within the area of proposed activity.
That's clear.
that's the way it should be. Is
Sorry.
Newspaper newspaper of general circulation within the area of the proposed activity. Sorry, Judy, I didn't want to step on your definition.
That works.
Any person. This, would you say opposite on or opposite to? This shall include owners of land directly opposite on any public or private street or way?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's too much shorthand. You may want to say opposite to the site on.
Well,
I didn't edit this. This was here before. I'm not willing to belabor that, but if you guys want to make a change. So then independent consultants was towards the end, and I moved it up kind of after this procedural section.
I think that's actually a good place for it.
And that was consistent with the placement of both MACC and Concord bylaw. Judy, I think you largely took this from the MACC template, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's standard. The only difference I saw was the Concord one was very brief, and said basically the commission can choose to hire a consultant and the intent is for larger complex projects.
I think this language is fine.
Yep. Okay, and that talks about appeals process. Okay, then section 6 is permits and conditions. So there's the decision. I suggested this language instead of shall approve or deny a permit. The other bylaws use shall issue or deny a permit. And then the decision shall be in writing. I added when I looked back at the other templates.
Fine. Put a period after writing, Eleanor.
Oh, writing, good point. And then let's see what I said here. This was, the original language was in black. And it's essentially the same thing. It just, I think both templates, let me see what I said. Okay. So it's essentially the same thing. It just has a header and explains what we'll take into account. So I
My
made
suggestion
in
making its determination rather than such a determination.
In
the first
making,
line,
oh,
it's determined.
Okay.
That's all. Commission shall take into account the extent to which any okay.
And then this was another thing we might consider adding. And this was in both templates.
Aren't you saying that with that
like
second sentence above?
Oh, you hang on, so I can see they come in. Oh, you're right. Okay, I'll just get rid of it then. Okay. Paragraph C is denial. I think this was just pretty standard. I just added this to be consistent with the other templates. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah. Put a space before the T in the.
Okay. You're right. Yeah, I'm not, should I just start accepting some of these changes, or do you want them in track changes?
Once we're done, you can accept them all.
Okay, hang on.
As long as you delete alternate language or old language that we
Yeah.
already decided upon.
Yeah.
So we don't revisit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oops, sorry. Well, that was pretty much just.
Now the specific
Yeah.
factors down below. Should this be just part D of the permit section? We're all in permit section, right?
So, I don't know that you need this header. I think on the Concord, they call it something, they call it its own section. It's really still part of the permit section, so we could get rid of it. And
Fine.
you just have,
I don't see anything within it, so yeah, why not?
Okay. So, right.
Okay.
So we talked to C, denial, then D, starting at D are all the sort of specific factors. Resource area loss, buffer zone, riverfront area, setback. Can somebody grab this citation? For resource area from the Wetlands Protection Act?
Ethan must know it off the top of his head.
Is that something you can pull up? And I'll just put it in here. This note has been open for a while.
Working on it.
Okay, thank you. I'll come back to that one.
Do we need this vernal pool definition below? Just did it up above, especially since this is a different definition. We're at 50 cubic feet instead of 1,000 square feet.
No, the other one, oh, good point. Let's see. I think the vegetated wetland, the isolated wetland was 1,000 square
Oh,
feet.
that was isolated wetland. We don't define vernal pools. Okay.
I think we did, let me see what other
Sorry,
question.
you're right. I'm wrong. 50 cubic feet. Okay, then I'm fine.
Then presumption, oh, sorry, Ethan or Ken?
Yeah, just to go back to the resource area, there's a definition for resource area in the Wetlands Protection Act, but keep in mind that we are adding our own to that, right?
Okay,
So, the definition kind of refers to another citation, in the regs, as it often does, but that won't work well or seamlessly with ours because we'd have to add the other stuff, I assume.
okay.
Right?
Well, we're saying work within 25 feet of a resource area. So we're not saying a buffer is a resource area per se, right?
Yeah, but if it's an isolated wetland or a vernal pool, that's not defined as a resource area in the Wetlands Protection Act. But we would still want a setback to that, right?
Yes. I see Jennifer has her hand up, or she had her hand up.
It was about the same thing.
Okay.
We could add the citation for resource area and then continue to say the commission shall presume that work within 25 feet of any resource area is defined in Wetland Protection Act section, or within 25 feet of any resource area as defined in WPA, close paren, comma, a vernal pool or an isolated vegetated wetland.
Okay.
I think you need a comment. Yeah, will result in alteration of the resource area of the resource.
Of the resource.
Because those are not resource areas as.
Okay.
And the citation for definitions under the Wetlands Protection Act is 310 CMR 10.04.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, work shall mean. This reads a little awkward. Work shall mean, but not be limited to. Or is that okay?
Didn't we define that right at the beginning?
Okay. It's fine. Let's move on. Vernal pools.
Okay.
Did we define a size early on in the definitions, or we didn't?
No, we did for isolated vegetated, but not for vernal pools.
Okay. Can I double, the MACC definition didn't have Do you guys mind if I go back for a second and check that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. We're on H.
So the definition that was in the thing I sent around,
Yeah.
does not
200
include.
cubic feet. Sorry.
I'd suggest we stay consistent with that then, down below. But do we need a definition? I would not put a second definition in. It's one or the other. You don't put two definitions in a law or regulation. That just leaves you open to confusion and conflict.
Mm.
We've got it here. Take it out below.
Ken, what were you saying?
That 200 cubic feet, that's in the MACC, but it's not in any of the other kind of research that I did or
And do you think it's too big?
no. No, I'm fine with it. It's fine.
Okay. Let's go down and take out the other one though.
Okay, hang on. Yeah, you
You
guys
don't
don't
need
think
it
that's
twice.
too big?
You really,
Okay.
you'll create an opportunity for confusion, or worse yet, somebody will exploit a difference.
Okay. Site has been certified. Did we say this last part? Regardless of whether the site has been certified by Massachusetts.
I don't
Sorry,
care.
my
I
only
mean, you can
question-
use one or the other. I just don't,
It should be regardless.
Okay.
yeah, but I have no objection to either one of these as a definition. I just want one.
Hang on, let me just make sure we have that. No.
Yep, regardless
Yeah,
of weather.
okay, perfect.
Right there.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, presumption of vernal pool habitat. I'll let you guys read that.
I think that's all right.
Okay. Demonstrating that a ponding area is not a vernal pool. Okay. So I wasn't sure if this read more like a performance standard. It's fine. And then K, waiver.
You're right, Eleanor. It does sort of look like a performance standard, something that might be more appropriate in a regulation than in the bylaw, but
I've just left it there for now.
yeah. But we got to come to ground on all of this
Mm-hmm.
so we can get it done. Are we going to get a lawyer to look at this?
We'll get Tom, ask Tom to look at it.
All right, then why don't we do that after we finish tonight?
Waiver, strict we're going this. Okay, X, and then it's okay, waiver, L, expiration of permit.
That's where we've been, hasn't it?
Paul, I'm fading. It's sorry.
Yeah, that works. I think that's right. I mean, that's what we have now, isn't it?
Yes, I think my only comment here was the MAC
Oh, which says a
language.
permit, DOA, or
Yeah,
order of resource area delineation. I'm
yes.
okay with that. You could drop that language in.
Okay.
Permit, etc.
Yeah. Ah. Oh my goodness, sorry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Looks
gonna
fine.
delete this note.
Yeah.
I'll delete that later. Okay.
Good.
Revocation of permit. Amendments to permit. I added this because it was in both Concord and Mac template.
And it's done this way in both.
Yeah. I mean, the Mac template has no headers, it's just paragraphs.
That's, yeah, this actually is a good way to do it, looks to me.
So.
And Pete, yeah.
Can I hit accept on these?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Combined permits. The commission, it's fine. Recording a permit, that's all standard.
Mm-hmm.
Section 9 regulations. Section 10 burden of proof. Section 11 appeals. I didn't change anything here. Section 4.
Looks good.
Oh, am I out of order? Hang on a second.
Why?
11 to 14.
Oh, you just got to fix.
Fix that, yeah. Okay.
You've got a few other things where you may have to go back and correct
tidy it
lettering,
up.
but you've done a hell of a job here. I think it looks good.
So let's just go back up to the top. Did we resolve all of our sort of open comments? Hang on quickly. Do we need to say buffer? We came back. I don't think we need to say buffer.
Resource areas.
Because the setback is the buffer, right?
Right. Yes, that's how I'd read it.
And we got rid of that.
You just need to make sure that number before comes back in, Eleanor.
Yeah.
This looks good. I think we fixed it.
We used 200 cubic feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Eleanor, can you send a copy of this revised one to me?
Yes. Yes. I'm going to send it to everybody
Yeah.
in a second. And we're going to call it the 2.4.
Yeah.
And this is track changes.
Could I suggest that what we do is review it and come to conclusions and approve this draft to go forward at the next meeting? Jimmy, do you want to try to send it to Tom Mullen before that, before we make our decisions? Probably makes sense, doesn't it? Ask him if he can get a review done.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do that.
Because we'll have till the 18th
So
for him to act, right?
he may be a little backlogged.
Hmm.
I think we want to get it to him as soon as possible.
Okay, but that's a good thought, Eleanor.
Because
We
it's
don't
just
have to give him, we give him what we like and ask him to legalize it.
Yeah, I actually think that's the right way to do it because.
Okay. No, I think you make sense. Yeah.
and I think just in talking to Dan Lieber, just so you understand the bylaw, I didn't appreciate how complicated the codification is, but it sounds like they're taking, just sort of a hodgepodge of, 100 years of bylaws and then breaking it into sort of discrete sections. So if there are 100 sections today, it would be 10 sections in the future that have subsections. So he's done this for other towns. So he has a wetlands bylaw placeholder in his format. So while they've contracted him, it definitely makes sense to get this in,
Get
in
this in
front of
front of them
him.
and try to
Exactly.
get it to a point where I'm presuming the whole bylaw process is going to have to go before town meeting. So if we put
Yes.
this in there, this goes before town meeting as part of that same warrant potentially.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, and that's a question that we could ask at the bylaw committee review meeting. It's also something town council Mullen could give us feedback on, but at least it would be, sort of in the format. It would have been massaged so you can kind of put it, slip it in when it's ready.
Yeah. I mean, I think our objective should be to have it in so that it goes in as part of the, if it can be included in the bylaw package that's presented at the next town meeting, we do that. I think that would be
Yes.
optimal for us.
Yes, and I
So,
think you could also send a draft. You send a draft to town council Mullen, have him comment on it. You can also send a draft to the bylaw review committee and
at the same
say,
time. Yeah.
yeah, subject to feedback or whatever, and then go from there.
Well, let's plan to, Jimmy's sending the letter that we worked over earlier this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So let's plan to do what we said here and in that letter rather, and have this done at our next meeting so we can send it on to both Tom Mullen and to the bylaws committee, and then we have to sort of ride herd on them to actually move it forward.
Do we want to? I think that's okay. It seems like cutting things close, would we want to try to schedule an extra meeting just to focus on the bylaw and get it out of the way before the 18th? I
You
don't know
think
what
the
people.
18th is too late, Eleanor? Is that what you're suggesting?
It makes me nervous. Yeah.
I have a question, which is there still material that was originally in the regulations that's not incorporated yet into this?
I think our draft regulations, I have to pull them up, had a lot of definitions, but that's a good question. I'm a little unclear if we need both the bylaw and the regulations. Some towns have, just the bylaw. But that's where it would be important to get the feedback from the bylaw committee or Tom Mullen early on. So if we have to scramble and finish up the regs, we could do that. Do you want me to pull up the regs quickly?
I'm not sure I'm prepared to go through them as well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting late now, too.
I would suggest you circulate those, Eleanor.
Okay.
Circulate this revised version of the bylaw. Circulate, if we have regulations, let's circulate them. I wasn't aware we actually had them. Because if we have regulations, what are they pursuant to?
I think they need work.
Well, I'd like to see them because,
yeah.
I mean, what authorizes those regulations even? Is it just the DEP state code that authorizes us to pass regulations regardless of whether we have a bylaw? I don't. In fact, do we at some point in this draft say something about our ability to pass implementing regulations as necessary?
I don't think we say that.
Seems like we ought to.
Let me pull back up the draft. Did I stop sharing?
You did. No, you're still sharing. Just go back up to your draft proposed bylaw.
Okay.
Should be toward back at the end, the tail end.
Towards the end. Okay.
I'm guessing it's going to be a separate section, so keep on going down.
Okay. Did I miss it? Oh,
No.
expiration.
No. Regulations there, following.
Rules and regulations.
There you go. Got it.
I don't know that we really need regulations right now.
Well, let's say may be promulgated instead of shall be. Because you also say failure by the commission to promulgate rules and regulations shall not suspend or invalidate the effect of the bylaw. So
you want to change that to
change
May?
shall to may.
I changed it to May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd suggest following a public hearing, the commission may promulgate rules and regulations. That's my own preference. I just don't like passive voice.
Okay. May
promulgate rules and regulations.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. It's easier to type than skip around. To effectuate the.
You got it.
Okay.
You need to take out the rules and regulations above, the immediate line above.
Following a public hearing, the commission.
Got it.
May promulgate, okay. So what is people's appetite to reconvene at an earlier time? And maybe it doesn't even have to be, I know I'm pushing this. I'm
Well,
just
can we
worried.
convene without a meeting notice?
Is there,
How
why
far,
is there,
how far in
Ellen, why,
advance do we have to have a notice out?
is
I
there
just,
something, what if we didn't go to this town meeting and hit the next one? Is there a
I
problem with
think,
that?
in the feedback I've gotten,
Yeah,
it would be good to try to get this into this town meeting, especially, to hitch our cart to the bylaw review process, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
And
I would agree with
let
that.
them kick us out, or say, no, it can't be done, do it separate, but we should try to hitch our wagon, because they've hired a professional to look at this stuff, and they have the resources now, and that may not be available at fall meeting. It sounded like there's a lot of sort of formatting, massaging, and whatever we come up with, let's say the bylaw doesn't pass, the bylaw recodification doesn't pass, but this one passes, it would slide into the old configuration. So it's all over my head, but I think it would be a mistake not to at least make the effort to try and put it
I'd
through.
agree
And
with you there, Eleanor.
yeah,
I think it would be great to piggyback on it. I mean, I think we've gone through this pretty well. I think if we have time, I don't see that the 18th is that big a problem for us to finish it and then hand it over to the bylaw committee and Mullen, but
it's just not potentially giving them enough time to review. That's my concern.
yeah, I know, it seems to me you're dropping something on them and kind of short notice on.
well, then
Yeah.
we could do it. We could, if
Just-
we don't need more than a couple days of public notice, we could hold a meeting next week.
Yeah, could we do a meeting next Tuesday? Just hold a public notice and we'll.
Yeah,
No, because I have to get the Zoom set up too. I have to get that from Sherry. She has to organize that.
okay. But she can still do that with a week's notice.
I don't know. It depends on how many other meetings there are.
Okay.
Uh,
Eleanor,
we
there's
can
something
also
wrong
meet
with
in
the burden of
person
proof
if the
section.
Zoom is an issue, right?
It has to be hybrid.
Okay.
Eleanor, there's something wrong with that section 10 burden of proof that's on the screen right now. Go down and read it. It failure to, and then there's some law citation dropped in. Doesn't make sense.
Ooh, let me go back to the original. Maybe I hit something, hang on. Nope. Delete that. Let's see what was in that before. I'm just going to pull up an older version and take a look. Does anybody have an older version in front of them?
Just pull up the 126 version you had. This the 126 B?
Yeah.
Let's go down to section 10.
Burden of proof.
It's the same
it was
from
like
failure
that.
to. It got messed up someplace earlier.
Yeah, let me go back to an earlier.
But I suggest you just go back and find it and plug in what's appropriate. I don't think we have to spend a lot of time on it now. I just happened to see it as we were sitting here looking at
Yeah. Sorry, did
It's-
somebody,
It's in the Mac template.
Okay.
oh, can you read it to me really quick, or is it too big?
Yeah, it's one long sentence. Failure to provide adequate evidence to the Conservation Commission supporting this burden shall be sufficient cause for the commission to deny a permit or grant a permit with conditions.
Grant a permit with conditions.
Yes.
Is that under?
What's the 131?
That's
Is there
not in
anything
this
that-
section.
Hmm.
Then I would just stop there.
So is that how it reads? Yeah. 13140 and regulations hereunder as they may be amended?
I think that's from a different section.
Just take it out then.
Oh, okay. So this thing?
Somehow
Okay.
it got conflated.
I don't know what happened. Okay. Perfect. So potentially Tuesday, so we can send an email to schedule a time, right? Like if Tuesday, I just want to talk through this. Like if next Tuesday didn't work because Sherry was busy, didn't have a Zoom link, then
Why don't you maybe contact Tom and ask him if he's got time to look at it right now? And then you're gonna know for sure.
okay.
Just tell him what we're doing and tell him it's written, it needs to be reviewed.
Okay.
Because he may say, maybe you say he's too busy, maybe you won't. I don't know.
So I guess I'm trying to figure out how we can push this along then. So if I accept changes and send out a clean version,
Yeah.
are you saying just have me send that to Tom or have somebody like, I don't know, under open meeting law, I could have one other person take a look for just proofreading to make sure there's not a hiccup like that, right? Like what we just edited.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
I can have
Yeah,
one
I
other
think you're
person.
right, Eleanor. You could.
Like I could have you proofread it, Paul, for example, just for this thing. Like if I accept changes, one more set of eyes to just, make sure there's not a glaring thing like you just flagged, and then send it to Tom Mullen to look at
Mm-hmm.
and ask potentially if he can give us comments back for our next meeting, the 18th. I feel like that might be more valuable.
Okay. So
Is that another approach?
No, just sum up what you want to do so we all know. What's your procedure? You're gonna review the drawing, review this again, then send it to Tom. And hopefully he's gonna have enough time to do it.
To give us comments
Yeah.
prior to our next meeting. Because he may have comments
Well,
and
we can make the ask. I think that's a good choice. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, then
he can say no.
we'll address the issue if we
Well,
have.
I mean, we could just send it over to him right away. And I mean, so if there's mistakes there, that's what he's checking for.
Yeah,
anyway.
well, and we've gone through it twice tonight now.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a pretty careful job. I'm comfortable with sending it on.
Okay.
So
yeah, I don't think we should put it off for another meeting. I would rather send it out earlier, hope to get feedback, and
let's
then
send it to Tom and say we'd like to get this on to the Bylaw Review Commission, but would like your review first.
Yes.
I'd agree with that approach. fact, I'll make a motion to approve it, to forward it on those conditions.
Paul, what's your availability to coordinate with Tom Mullen? I'm just curious.
I'm in the Adirondacks right now
Okay.
for cross-country skiing through Friday.
Yeah.
I'll be back in town on the weekend and next week.
Okay. So would you guys like me to email Tom Mullen or?
Sure.
Okay. So can I make a motion myself? Make a
Yeah.
motion to accept the edits as agreed by the commission tonight and create a clean version to send to Attorney Tom Mullen for review and comment for inclusion in the proposed bylaw recodification.
Mhm.
I'll second.
Seconded.
I'll defer to Haley. Any further comments?
Jimmy,
Jimmy,
were
do
you
you
going to
want-
vote?
Yeah, if you want to vote, yeah. So, does someone made a motion?
Yep. Eleanor made the motion and Haley or
Someone-
I seconded
And
it.
someone seconded?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor? Paul,
Yes.
Eleanor,
Yes.
Haley,
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm a yes as well.
Okay.
Excellent.
So I will aim to get that out probably tomorrow or Thursday.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you for your work on this, Eleanor. That you did a very thorough job.
Well, it wasn't me. It was Judy who started
Well,
this all, and
the
I
team
just
has done a good job
copied.
then.
But the next thing is potentially thinking about presentation, right? And
Mhm.
explaining to people how we do this. So perhaps this might be a good project for Ethan.
Yeah, yeah.
To
it
look
would be.
at,
Yep.
to put together a presentation. Did we have other things on our agenda? It's 9:30.
Yeah, we got two more
Oh, boy.
things we're gonna get done real
We should
quick.
wrap up then on
Okay.
this so we can get those.
We want to revote on the open space and recreation plan. We want a letter of support, so we want to make a motion on that. Because we've already done that once. And then the beaver management policy, maybe we should hold off on that for a little bit, because I think that's gonna take up some time, and it's getting, what
No.
time?
Yeah.
The only thing about the beaver management policy is, it'll probably be on the next Board of Health meeting, which is the third week in February. I don't know what the date is.
Oh, I thought it was the 15th.
They usually meet the third week.
Oh.
The health director was gonna get back to me, but I haven't heard from him yet with a date.
Okay,
The last email I saw, you said it was the 19th, I believe, is what I wrote down.
I think it's the third week, but
so when do they meet again then? If you missed this one, when do they meet?
it would be the third week in March.
In March?
Yes.
All right, so they meet in March, and then when's the next one after that?
Sounds
They
like
meet
they meet
once a month.
monthly.
They meet,
But they haven't been meeting monthly.
Oh,
well,
well,
I don't really feel like discussing,
I
beaver
think
management
there's
right
far
now.
more than we can handle tonight.
We've already accepted the policy. It's already accepted.
Well,
It's not drafting anything.
It's deciding who's going to go, right? And
Right.
talk to the Board of Health. That should be a quick decision.
All right, what do you want to do?
well, let's deal with the open space plan first. That's first on the agenda.
Okay.
Is this a matter of reaffirming our
Right.
support in the
yeah.
letter we drafted previously?
That's right. So, someone make a motion to support the open space and recreation plan. Paul, you want to make that motion or?
I'll make the motion to issue a letter in support of the open space recreation plan as previously adopted by the commission at a meeting in 2024.
Okay, so do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Ken,
Yes.
Eleanor?
Wait, have we seen, have all those changes that were talked about before addressed?
What change are you talking about? The school, the town-owned property for the school?
Yeah, there were a couple issues with it previously.
Right, one was, it said school-owned properties, and it was changed to town-owned school properties. And town council was taken out of under the goals section. They didn't want to be named in the goals section, so that was taken out. Is that what you mean?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, then, shall we finish our vote then?
I think so. Where did I leave off with? I did you and
You just start over. I don't know who voted. I don't remember anymore.
Paul?
Yes.
Okay, Eleanor?
I'm abstaining because it predated my service.
Because what?
It predated my service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Haley?
Yes.
Okay, and Ken?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well.
Okay.
All right, I think this got a lot accomplished tonight. I think it's good. I guess I can make a motion, or someone can make a motion to,
The beaver.
oh, yeah, we're gonna do the beaver thing, that's right, too. I guess
That's a question of when is the meeting, right? And who can attend?
I can attend. I definitely can attend.
Okay.
I guess I'll have to find out. Maybe I'll have Ethan, if he could find out for me when it is. And
So, yeah,
I can look at that if you want.
Judy, your email said you heard back from the health director and we could discuss it. He would add it as an agenda item on their February 19th meeting.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right, so we'll just ask them to put it on their agenda. Okay?
It sounds like he's said he's going to put it on the agenda.
Yes. He just hasn't gotten back to me with the actual agenda.
Oh, got it. So I think, Jimmy, the commission needs to decide who should go. Do you want 2 people?
Yeah, we'll decide. Whoever wants to go.
Do we know what time they meet at? Is it
Usually
also
7. Usually 7.
And I think they tend to meet in person, right?
They're hybrid.
They're hybrid.
They have to be hybrid in town.
You know what I thought of? Wasn't there a filing about the railroad tracks, the spraying for?
That's the next meeting.
That's the next meeting? Okay.
So I'm happy for you to attend with Haley or you to attend with Judy.
Say
Okay.
the 19th, is that the date?
Yes.
And that's a Wednesday night, I think.
The day
Yes.
after our next meeting, actually.
I don't think I can go, I'm sorry.
Judy, do you know if they were putting us at the front or the back of their agenda?
I don't know. I mean, if you want a certain time, I can ask. I don't know what they're gonna have on their agenda. Did you want a certain time?
I mean, if they can put us up front would be great. I typically have another meeting that night, so if I could join for a bit to do that part and then be able to go to my other one would be great. But
Okay.
however it ends up working out.
Yeah, I'll email him tomorrow and ask him.
Okay, great.
All right, so that settles it. We have a plan?
Sounds like it.
Okay, we're gonna make a motion to close the hearing, the meeting.
Second,
All in favor? Ken?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Eleanor?
yes.
Paul?
Yes.
And I say yes as well. Okay.
Good
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Night all.